So the FM24 data update has landed and it's time for me to give you guys my Wonderkid 11 with the latest update. I've already simmed through a save with every single player. Yes, it's over 470,000 players in the database. I've simmed through an entire 10-year span to find the best players in my mind once I've searched their attributes. In this video, I'm going to go through position by position. I'm just going to show you the best players in each one in my opinion. Obviously, there's likes of 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 and stuff like that I'm not going to feature in here because I kind of want to shine a light on some of these other players and hopefully give you guys some names that you can maybe go and sign in your saves. We're going to start off, we're going to run through, I've got them in a 4-2-3-1, so you've kind of got a little flavour of everybody in a lot of different positions, and we're going to go through and I'm going to show you them at the start, show you how much they're going to cost you, and then what they look like in 10 years time, because some of these guys are absolute monsters. If you like the Wonderkid content, guys, drop a like on today's video, drop the subscribe button. I'm really trying to start to bring content back. I had a little bit of a break and I'm really starting to try and bring it back. So let's dive in. Enough waffle. Let's talk about the goalkeepers. So first and foremost, we have Jonas Rubig. He looks a very good goalkeeper to me already. He's 19 years of age. He plays over at FC Cologne, or he's in their second team. He kind of bounces in between, but he's going to join 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and I believe this is a loan. But attribute wise already, he looks so good for someone 19 years of age. He's good, he's quick at rushing out, he's got 15 for reflexes, 13 for one-on-ones, 12 for handling. He's a bit more eccentric with a 13 that I probably would prefer something a little bit different in that sort of aspect, but he looks very, very good, very well rounded for a player like that already. He's 6'2", he has good technique, and he's playing in a good league, and you know, the German clubs kind of do have a lot of good facilities, so you know, with his 16 determination, he's going to develop quite nicely. Now he's 19, and as I said, he's going to go and join 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, but his value at the moment is just 720k to 2.2 million, so this is definitely one to add to your shortlist and then maybe pick up after the first season. Now with this save, what I've done is I've got the editor enabled, which allows me to change this panel here. And then we can basically go and have a look at some of his hidden attributes. So his current ability is 118. Now, for those of you who didn't know, current ability runs from 0 or 1 all the way up to 200, 200 being the best, 0 or 1 being the worst. He's currently at 188, and his potential ability is 152. I think for reference, Marcus Rashford is 151. So this is kind of, that's the sort of level that he's going to be at. He's highly ambitious, but he's got good hidden attributes for his pressure, professionalism, sportsmanship, and his consistency, so you know he's gonna be a good, reliable man in between the sticks, which I'm really happy with. That's exactly what I want in my goalkeepers. Let's jump forward 10 years and I can show you why I picked this man up. Okay guys, so 10 years into the future, here is Big Jonas. He is now at Porto and he is now valued at 30 to 91 million pounds, and for me it's his goalkeeping attributes that I think are the real standout. He's got 17 for one-on-ones, 16 for passing, 17 for reflexes, 16 for rushing out in terms of his tendency, and 16 for throwing. So he's fast, he's agile, he can get out and be a very, very good sweeper keeper for you. This guy gives me like early Neuer vibes, and as you can see, he's very, very expensive now in the game. He's currently wanted by Tottenham, but I think he looks very, very good. On the right hand side of the screen, you should be able to see his potential ability and his current ability. He's hit it 158. If anything, he's kind of surpassed it a little bit. 158. I think he is such a good player. We're just gonna have a quick scan over his history. Porto picked him up on a free. I cannot believe you can get players like this on a free. Obviously in that first season he went on loan to 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, the team that I'm managing in the network game, which you can see over on twitch.tv/HoodGamingUK if you fancy it. I'm taking on FM. I've already been sacked. Not going great. But then he had 2 seasons at Cologne where he just didn't play, and then he breaks in and becomes their Bundesliga keeper. After that loan, I really think you can pick him up for such a small value. I really would highly recommend it. But now let's move into the defense. So starting off at right back, we have 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. He has been my right back, my go-to right back in this year's game, and the winter updates changed absolutely nothing about this. I think he is the best right back, very agile, very quick, he can cross, he can dribble, and this is what he looks like at the start of a game. Yes, he's at Fiorentina, yes, he's going to be a bit more expensive, but I genuinely think he's worth every single penny. He's 18. He's valued at 27 to 81 million pounds. Can I not speak to his agent because I don't have a club? That's super irritating. I'd love to know how much they'd actually want for him if we went to bid. He's got good tackling stats already, or tackling attributes already, 15 determination, so you know he's going to develop as well. And again, on the right hand side, we're talking about his hiddens. He's versatile. He's all right in important matches. He's pretty consistent as well. High professionalism. So again, if you're playing him, he is going to develop. So he's a very, very good player for me. He will be at Italy international in real life, I would imagine. So he's my spot for right back, and you can kind of see why already. And when we get into 10 years into the future, you'll really understand why. So flash forward 10 years into the future, and this is what Coyote looks like. He is now playing his football at Arsenal. He is very good on that right-hand side. He's also now been able to play on that left-hand side, and just look at how good he is physically. Unbelievable acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness, good stamina as well. 15 for pace is nothing to be sniffed at. But for me, it's his mentals where he needs them that are really good for the position. The high work rate, the good positioning attribute, along with the good concentration attribute, are highly, highly underrated attributes in this year's game. He's now 28 years of age, 82 caps for Italy and 2 goals. He's hit his 166 potential ability. He's done supremely well, and his consistency's seen a bump up as well, which you can probably do through a bit of mentoring as well. 17 consistency for him is mwah. So Arsenal bought him from Fiorentina about halfway through, and he's done pretty well for both teams, actually, averaging over a 7 for all the teams that he's played for in league matches, which is great to see for a fullback. You don't want them to be your main outlet, but over a 7 is very, very good defensively. Let's move into the centre backs. I'm not going to spend too much on this guy. It's Antonio Silva. I don't care about the winter update. It's not changed my mind. He is the best centre-back that you can get in this year's game. He's a wonder kid. He's from Benfica. He's honestly not very expensive. He's 19 years of age. He's already been capped for Portugal. 6'2", good with both feet, but predominantly is on the right-hand side. He's a model citizen personality. He is elite. He is elite. And if you look at his hiddens as well, this is what makes him even better. He's got good temperament, good pressure, good loyalty as well, so he will stay at your club if you do buy him, and his other attributes that are hidden are pretty solid as well. In this, we will take a look. I believe he's got a minimum fee release that has gone up a lot from what I remember it being, but you can get him, as you can see, 22 to 66 million pounds here is what they're kind of valuing him at Benfica, and I think he's worth every penny. He's already 143 on that current ability, so not loads of gap that you can grow, but I still think he is probably the best right-sided centre-back that you can possibly have on this game. Now, I'm going to talk about the two centre-backs together, so give me 2 seconds and I'll just get the other one up. And his partner in the defence is 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. He is unreal in this year's game if you've not used him before. He starts off as a Lyon player in a real-world database, but as you can see, he is set up to join RB Leipzig, so you're going to have some trouble getting him off of Leipzig, but I do think he is the best player that you can put alongside Antonio Silva. If you could give me this defense so far, I would be so unbelievably happy with him. He's not tall. He's only 6 foot for a centre back, which some of you guys might think is short, but his physicals, guys, they develop so well. And for me as the centre-back, he has 16s for anticipation, 16 for composure right out the gate. So again, mentally, he is already there. He's been capped by France at under 21 level before the game even starts, and he has a potential ability of 170. Now, just to give you guys some context, 170 is Victor Bloody Osimhen. This guy could be on real. Now, we're going to flash forward 10 years into the future and show you what this centre-back pairing could be. Unfortunately, they're not in the same team, but I'm going to show you what you could have at your team. So starting off with Silva, he has moved. He's made his move. He's gone from Benfica. He is now a Tottenham player. Yes, you will see a lot of these players ending up in the Premier League because that's where the money is. He's now a legendary centre-back at Spurs. He's made over 100 caps for Portugal with 6 goals as well. You're going to kind of spot a trend with these, and the players that I like in this year's game, they're the ones with the higher mental attributes, guys. I'm not going to bang on about it too much, but you will see it makes a vast difference. He's hit 169 in terms of his current ability, which you absolutely love to see, and his hiddens in terms of some of his other ones have gone up as well. High adaptability, adaptability, which is great. You can see him in a different country. That pressure was already there. The professionalism's great. The temperament's great. It's 18 inconsistency on this guy as well. He's developed in this year's game. He's just phenomenal. He is just phenomenal. If we go and take a look at his career history, Spurs paid £60 million for him, and he's been a mainstay in this Tottenham team, basically playing every game that he is available for in the season, which you absolutely love to see. He is more expensive. I was surprised that his minimum fee release clause has been updated in that winter update, but he is potentially the best right-sided defender in this year's game. I hear you, Van Dijks. I hear you, Salibas. I like Antonio Silva myself. Now, let's talk about his partner, who's actually at a different club in North London. So yeah, here we go. Castello has moved. He is no longer at RB Leipzig. He's hit his 170 current ability, and he is now playing at Arsenal, the same place as 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. So I'm going to have a look, because I think Arsenal will probably do quite well with these two at the back. Now, again, mentally, he is so strong. 18 concentration, 17s for anticipation, composure, and positioning. His marking's improved. He's got 16 pace as well. Now, I said he's not that tall at 6 foot, but I genuinely don't think it matters with his physical ability and his ability to read the game. He's got 84 caps for France, 3 goals. Again, he looks fantastic. I imagine he cost Arsenal an absolute fortune. They got him for free. Players like this moving for free are absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, after he moved from France over to the Bundesliga, he's had some good seasons, but then for Arsenal to pick him up for free is absolutely disgusting. I need to look now. Yeah, Arsenal have won the Premier League 3 of the last 4 seasons because of these guys at the back. You can kind of see why. Let's move into the left back, because he is actually another familiar face, and I bet you can't guess who he is because he's from Bosnia. So there are going to be a couple of different factors that could get you into this team, and this guy's price point is a good one for me. This is Amir Dedić. He plays at RB Salzburg. He is a Bosnian international, and he is just so well-rounded for a fullback. Again, much the same as 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, he's very physical, which I love to see. He's 5'11", so he's not on the shortest side, and he's already wanted in this game by Brighton. His potential ability is 157, so again, we've kind of gone over that. He's pretty solid, and his hidden attributes are pretty just good. They're not spectacular, but they're good. And that 17 determination really shows that he will develop. He's in a good spot to do it at Red Bull Salzburg, but if you guys can pick him up early enough for your save, his value there is 8.2 million to 25 million. I think you can get him on the lower side of that, and I would really, really recommend it. He can also play on that right back side as well, because he is actually right-footed, despite being a left back. I quite like this, but his left foot's fairly strong as well, so it doesn't really matter. He can kind of do a bit of everything. Everyone likes a good utility player, but in 10 years' time, he's quite special in my opinion. Okay, so Dedić has taken a little bit of a turn in this particular save. He's now over in Saudi Arabia, and he hasn't actually developed as much as I have seen him. He's kind of hit that ceiling of 155, so he is a better player than Marcus Rashford, but attribute-wise, he hasn't been as impressive as some of the other ones that I have seen. He's now become a natural at both right back and left back, which is great. Obviously, he has that high versatility, the high consistency of a hidden attribute as well. He's a leader as well, which you love to see. 94 caps for Bosnia, and he has actually played a little bit in the Premier League. Newcastle United bought him for £33.5 million. Looks like he was a mainstay there before being released and going for free. I just don't understand why all these free transfers are happening in this one. It's another one that we've seen. But yeah, basically showing that he can do it in the Premier League as well. The fact that it took him that long to get out of Salzburg in Austria is very baffling to me, and I think that's a good price that Newcastle paid. Slightly inflated on what you can get him at the start, but he is very good. Now, we are going to move into the midfield. One of these is really obvious, and I feel the other one might not be as obvious. We'll kick things off with the obvious one because, of course, it's 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙤𝙪. He's my go-to Wonderkid this year. Unbelievable in midfield. High versatility on him as well. He is brilliant if you've not seen him. Also, his price point is so damn low. You can usually get him for 3 million quid if you just buy him, play him. Doesn't matter about his age. He's 16. He's capped at under 17 level for Norway. Just buy him and play him. He will develop so fast actually playing games for you. His hiddens are pretty solid as well. Just buy him and play him. He's 5'10". He will grow a little bit as well. This will be the best £3-4 million that you ever spend in Football Manager, in my opinion, if you play him. Now, his teammate has kind of got a little bit more football under his belt, but he is another Scandinavian player. Now, this is 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚. Now, I said he's played a lot more, and he has. Despite being only 19 years of age, he's actually had a couple seasons under his belt and is already pretty good. His current ability is 124, but that ceiling is 167. He is very, very good. This man can play as a central midfielder, he can play as a CDM, he's very good on his right foot, he's very physical, he's 6'2", he's already capped by Sweden, and he is going to cost you a decent amount as well. I'm not saying some of these Wonderkids are going to be cheap, but you're going to be happy that you signed them. Now, if you could get this man alongside 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 for a total of like 35-40 million pounds, further down the line you're going to be able to sell them for so much more money. Looking at this guy's hiddens as well, he's got pretty good temperament, professionalism, along with his adaptability and ambition. Again, that's really, really good. And then obviously some of the others are just bang in the middle. Obviously this guy has so much more room to develop as well, and he's in a very good place to do that at Frankfurt. So we're going to go and see what both of these guys look like in the future, because I think if they were in the same team, it would be unreal. One of them is at a team that we've already mentioned a few times in this video. So I'm actually going to come back and we're going to look at 𝙈𝙗 first, because he actually hasn't moved. He's wanted by everyone in the world on an end of contract. Now, he's 28 years of age, but he's still at Frankfurt. Attribute wise, technically he's really rounded up really nicely, but again, it's mentally where he's very strong. Nice high work rate, vision, positioning, determination, decisions, along with that anticipation, along with being a physical beast. Every attribute in his physicals, the lowest one is 14, and that's his strength. The lowest is 14. Yes, he's got several 317s, a 16. He's just so damn good in this year's game. I haven't actually managed to use him in any rebuilds or anything, but I really will start looking to try and pick this guy up. He's hit his 167 current ability, and those hiddens have taken a nice bump up as well. High consistency as well is such a key one to have. His current reputation is flying, and as you can see, he's wanted by Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Spurs, Newcastle, and a team over in Saudi. So you can see he's not valued at much, but he's had a very good career. Not necessarily set the world alight, but I think if you could get him in your team, he would be very, very good. And sadly, we're going to head back to Arsenal for 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. Arsenal, man. Arsenal scouting department must be watching me. And here is 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and you can see why I say he's my favourite player in this year's game, or favourite Wonderkid. He's supremely well-rounded. I've actually seen him attribute-wise develop a lot more than this. I'm kind of thinking that he didn't necessarily play as much for Arsenal as I would expect. Played an alright amount, and Arsenal only paid 7 million quid for him. You can definitely get more out of him than I've seen here. I'd be interested to see where they've been playing him, because I've definitely seen his attributes boost up a lot more than this. But he is still a very good, well-rounded player. 16 dribbling with the flair and the vision. He can unlock defenses from central midfield. He sits at 170 ceiling. So again, as that point of reference, that is Victor Osimhen. He is at that level, and he is in this Arsenal team with 𝘼𝙗𝙁 and 𝘼𝙗𝙁 as well. So you can see why they are going and winning Premier League titles with that trio in their team. He looks great. I'm really happy with how he has developed in other saves, not so much in this one, to be honest. So hopefully you can get your hands on him for dirt cheap and get him basically playing games as quickly as you possibly can. I really can't speak today. Let's move into that final third and talk about our right winger first of all. This one will come as no surprise. The right winger's 𝘼𝙗𝙁𝙁. I still don't think there's anyone better than him. Again, for the price point, it is really, really good to see. On that right-hand side, he can play in lots of different roles. I like him as an inside forward because that left foot, that strong left foot, is unreal. We've seen what this guy can do in the Champions League, scoring against United and stuff like that. If you've not heard of this guy in this year's game, I'm not sure what you've been playing. You must be doing some sort of lower league or some sort of journeyman thing, because this guy's unbelievable. He's got all the base attributes that you want in a winger, and again, with game time, he can really, really develop. That 161 potential ability, high ambition though, so he will want to move to a big team. If you are not that big team, you need to be doing well. High professionalism, high sportsmanship. He's got 16 in determination as well, so he will definitely develop, and he's going to be in that same Sweden team that we have seen already. Attribute wise, he does look pretty solid. I'm not going to talk about him too much because I think he's just a good player. I think most people know about him. Let's move into the camp spot. In this camp spot, we have Profundi. Now, he comes out of Udinese. He is an Italian international. He is only 17 years of age, but he does spend the first season out on loan. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on, because I have seen this guy develop in unreal elements as well in certain saves. We're going to get into how he's actually got on in this particular one, but that 18 determination and 16 flair, age 17 as well. This guy is a stone cold killer. If you actually let him play at Udinese, that might be best for him, unless you're going to play him right off the rip. His downside is the fact that he is 5'5". He doesn't get much taller than that, if at all. So that is definitely something to watch out for. He isn't going to be winning you headers. I think he could be one of the best central attacking midfielders in the game. In my mind, he is. I really like this guy. I always try and sign him in different videos and stuff like that. I just think he has the ability to just unlock defenses, and that is exactly what I look for in my cam spot. He can play up front if you need him to. He can play on the right if you need him to. He can do a bit of everything, but if you just pop him in that midfield and just let him cook, he will slice defenses open for you. Now, we've got one more player to do behind the strikers, so let's move into the left winger. On the left-hand side, we have our first and only Brazilian in this list. We have Savio. He is at Girona, who are obviously doing fantastic over in La Liga. He has 17 dribbling. He also has unreal pace, acceleration, agility, nice high flair, good technique. I've put him on the left-hand side despite the fact he can play on both, because I think actually sometimes having a left footer on the left-hand side is really, really nice. Not many teams have that, and his electric pace is basically why he's in the team. I like his physicality. I like the fact that he can get at players. He's 19 years of age. He's playing football in a good team already. He's got 141 current ability. That potential ability is 164. And again, looking at those hidden attributes around my head, you can see that he's doing pretty darn good already. Again, with game time, this guy will only go from strength to strength. So we're going to jump forward 10 years into the future and take a look at these three guys behind our striker. So here is 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 10 years into the future on the winter update. He still looks very good. He has developed quite nicely here. Nice high agility, natural fitness, good anticipation and flair and determination in those mentals. The dribbling and the first touch has good technique as well, as you kind of would expect. He has graced the Premier League. He went over to Manchester United. We'll look at his career history in a sec. But he's now over at 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and he's wanted by Newcastle and Real Madrid. So you can kind of see how good this guy can be. I'm so surprised he's only played 26 times for Sweden, because there must be a problem. There must be a problem. I don't understand why he wouldn't be. If we go and have a look at his career history, United paid 16 million for him from Copenhagen, and then he's gone over to 𝘼𝙗𝙤 for 29 million after not really playing too much for United. I'm seeing lots of substitute appearances for United, so whoever the United manager is, just humour me. Mark Rosa, not necessarily giving him as much back in as you kind of would hope, but he is a very, very good player in this year's game. But as I mentioned, we've all seen 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. Now, let's go and have a look at some of these other guys. And this is a man who is still at Manchester United. We have Simone Profundi. He looks superb in this particular save. Again, his mentals are where he really accelerates here for me. The vision, the off the ball, the flair, the composure is fantastic. As I touched on before, he stayed 5'5" in this one. I've seen him creep up to 5'6", but nothing beyond that. High agility, high pace, 17 dribbling, 17 free kick taking is a very underrated attribute that not a lot of people look at as well. But this guy is the baller. He has gone from Udinese to Manchester United in this one. Another player leaving on a free transfer. I don't understand why this is happening so much. Obviously, maybe United have unsettled him. But again, another player who, since he's moved to the Premier League, has averaged over a 7 basically in his 3 seasons, which is pretty good. He's chipping in with the goals, he's chipping in with the assists, but I think he's the guy who basically gets the assist to the assist. He doesn't necessarily deliver the killer ball, but he rips teams apart, and he is very good. Now, the guy who does deliver the killer ball is the electric Brazilian on the left-hand side. Let's see where he is in 10 years. Now, he's had a bit of bouncing around, but he's found his way to Benfica, and he's actually got a 20 for one of these attributes. Yes, he's got 20 agility, along with that fast, blistering pace that we've already seen. He's now 29 years of age. A high vision again, off the ball, the flair is very good. 16 crossing, 17 dribbling, 16 first touch. This guy is unreal. He's not necessarily hit his top end of his potential ability. He's hit just underneath that. He's still 159 on his current ability, which is still very darn good. Now, he's at Benfica, and looking at things here, he's bounced around. He's gone back over on loan a lot to Troyes, which is, I just don't understand why it's happened. And then he's been purchased by Benfica, which, you know, it is what... Oh, sorry, he was a Troyes player. He went on loan to Girona whilst they were in the second tier. And there we go. And then he's bounced back up, or when he was in the second team, sorry. And then 36 million for him. I would really recommend going and getting Savio, because you don't see 20 attributes very often. And the fact that this guy can get there is blisteringly good. He's wanted by Newcastle. I could kind of see Newcastle wasting some money on him, because that's usually what Newcastle do in these saves. And we've got one more player to talk about, and that is our centre forward in the game. Now, I'm sure this is the one you all wanted to see, the centre forward in this team, and we've got Big Samu here. He starts off in a real-world database at Granada, but he is about to join Atletico Madrid. I think it's for 5.5 million, and this guy is an absolute handful. Looking at him physically, his lowest attribute, age 19, in the physical column is his agility and his stamina at 13. But he's got 3 16s already in jumping reach, natural fitness, and pace. He's 6'4", and he's already got a 16 for off the ball. Now, with the right crafting, I think this guy could turn into an Erling Haaland kind of vibe. The fact that he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he can put the ball in the back of the net is really, really good. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to hit the Haaland heights, but I think he really can do. Like, I think he can be that kind of player, given the right development. Obviously, as I said, he's moving to Atletico Madrid. I don't see him getting in past Griezmann, João Felix, etc. So I'm sure you can pick him up a year into the future for dirt cheap. In this particular save right at the start, he's valued at 2.6 to 7.8 million pounds, and he's at Granada. Obviously, he's moving. Let's jump forward 10 years into the future, because honestly, this is the most expensive player that gets purchased on this list. So guys, 10 years into the future, this is our final player. This is Big Samu. Now, he is an absolute monster. He's even getting caps for Spain, 53 caps and 30 goals for the Spanish national side. He's now valued at 74 to 221 million pounds. He's at Newcastle United. His current ability is now 163, and you can see he is just that physical specimen, guys. His lowest attribute now in his physical column is 15 for his jumping reach, his stamina, and his strength. With him being 6'4" is unbelievable. He's got 15 composure, 16 concentration, 17 anticipation. He's going to spot the run, guys, and he's going to get there, and he's going to body anyone else in between his absolute path. I've never seen a striker like this that I've never heard of. Now, I apologize to any Granada fans or any Atleti fans that I've not heard of this guy before until doing this video, but he went to Newcastle for 168 million pounds. Now, you can see he moves to Atleti, then they loan him out to Alaves, and then he kind of picks up a couple games here and there, 3 substitute appearances and 1 start, but he kind of starts building it up. And then it looks like the first season that they actually start him at Atleti, he scores 28 in 31, and then Newcastle go, yeah, we'll have a bit of that. And then he moves to the Premier League with his lowest goal scoring return in his first season of 12, and he's gone 17, 17, 16, 18, all in the Premier League, averaging a 7.1 in competitive league matches. This is Big Samu. Go and sign this guy. He is an absolute gem. If you've not heard of him before, let me know if I've missed anyone down in that comment section. And until next time, guys, take care. Peace out. I'll see you soon.